Hi, and welcome to the weekly general love reading for Friday, June 21st, 2019. So it doesn't have to be Friday, June 21st, 2019 for you to get something out of this reading. It is timeless. What we're looking at is the next 7 days in front of you, okay? And we're going to be looking at just the general themes, motifs, what to expect. Hopefully we're going to be able to make some predictions and just, looking at your week in love. Okay. So what I need for you to do in order to, give you this reading is to either think about the person that you're asking about, or if you are single, just go ahead and focus on your heart, okay, for a little bit, and then look at the piles and pick which one calls to you the most, okay? And using the law of attraction, we will give you your reading. All right, so that said, the first pile is the black obsidian heart. The second pile is the pink rose quartz heart. The third pile is the purple fluorite heart. The fifth pile is the white opalite heart. The sixth pile is the blue Lapis Lazuli heart. And the sixth pile is the gray Bloodstone heart. So while you guys are picking that out, I just want to go ahead and let you guys know, as always, anything you need to know about me is going to be in that description. All right, I don't want to waste any of your time though. So if you have not picked your pile, go ahead and pause, and otherwise we're going to be starting with pile number 1 right away. Righty, so I hope you guys are having a good week. And I hope that your reading reveals that you will have an even better week, all right? Okay. All right, those of you who picked pile number 1, here is your reading. We have the 4 of coins, we have the 2 of swords, and we have the 4 of wands, okay? All right, and we also have the mice. Okay, and that is being modified by the bouquet. We have harmony and we have refusing to see. I do want to mention that these 2 cards are the same card. They're just in different decks. As you can see, this is number 2. And as you can see, this is number 2. And you can see that she has a blindfold on. He or she has a blindfold on. Yeah. I'm trying to make that focus and I'm not certain if it's... Yeah. Anyway. So I do want to mention that you guys got the same card twice over, so I think it's really important to make sure that we focus on these cards. All right, so that said, let's go over here to these 4s. 4s are about stability, okay? And so right now, what I'm feeling here in your situation is that at the beginning of the week, it's not going to feel as stable as you would like it to, okay? It feels like there's something that you're missing out on, or there's something that didn't happen that you needed to happen, or that you were hoping would happen in your relationship. And now it's like you're feeling almost like really clingy, but it's not... that's not an inappropriate response to whatever's going on in your love life right now, okay? So do understand that, this person here, right, we kind of look at him and we think about hoarding mentality, scarcity consciousness, and that kind of stuff. But what he's doing, is he's really trying to hold on to what he has, and he feels small right now, okay? So I really feel like where you are right now is that you've invested a lot of energy into this relationship, and that these coins kind of represent that energy, right? And you're trying to hold on to as much energy as possible, and you're feeling kind of broken down a little bit, okay? And I am being told that for some of you guys, it's not so much broken down as it's kind of like more like at your wit's end. You're more like kind of flustered about it, rather than feeling less, I don't know, feeling more kind of like this helpless feeling. It's like more like you're just throwing up your arms and they're like, oh, what do I do, and all of that kind of stuff. So we have right here, it's like, I feel like there's going to be some kind of disconnect, okay, between what you're trying to get across in this relationship and your person, okay? Right now, it's like there's basically two ways it can go. It's the good way or the bad way, you know. And of course, when I say that, I am, you know, talking about the absolute ideal and then the absolute worst case scenario. And I feel like right now, your person is focusing on that black and white thinking, whereas you're trying to explain to your person that no, it's more the gray area. Sometimes it's not going to be the best, and sometimes, you know, it's really not going to be the worst. You know, it's a relationship, and healthy relationships kind of go through ups and downs, and you're being realistic about it. It seems like your person's swinging back and forth in a really black and white way. So right now, I would say if you're trying to communicate with your person the first 3 or 4 days of this week, keep it really, really simple, because I feel like they're not going to want to meet you halfway about whatever topic you're trying to talk about, because it's like they're closed off right now. You see how this character has their arms crossed over their heart? It's just they're in their heads, and because of that, they're trying to make logical sense out of stuff that might not necessarily be logical. For example, you know, I mean, anything that involves feelings, you know, anything that involves emotion is not going to make logical sense, not because it's nonsensical, but because it just doesn't it doesn't exist on that plane, okay? So I feel like that's another thing that's kind of coming in between the two of you. However, this card promises that you guys are going to be getting along by the end of the week. So you are going to be able to find a way to basically like strike a chord with your person, okay? The harmony card, I really think about it with music and how music can harmonize and everything. And it's like in order to play music in a band, for those of you who have, you'll know exactly what I mean. It's like almost like you have to mind read everybody else that's in the band, and you have to figure out like and anticipate how they're going to be playing and what they're going to be doing and that kind of stuff, so that you can make something that's really pretty, or that's really appealing or evocative, or whatever word you want to use. I feel like that's what's going to be happening by the end of your week, probably starting on day 4, and day 4, 5, and you know, 4, 5, 6, and 7 is going to just be like much better. You guys are going to be basically reading the same music and harmonizing together and kind of anticipating what the other wants. So it's not like it's going to be all bad. It's just that this part at the beginning is going to really feel draining. Either that, or it's going to just be really frustrating. So, what we have here is that we've got the mice, okay? The mice kind of take away from something, and this just perfectly illustrates what I was saying before, is that it's going to feel like there's something that's missing, there's something that's lacking here. It's not really like they're taking away from something that's there, it's more that they're taking away from something that could be there, if that makes sense. And then, we have the bouquet coming around to kind of modify it, saying, but there is going to be this gift, this beauty about the relationship by the end of the week, okay? All right, guys. So, I mean, it's not the best. It doesn't look like it's going to be the best week, but it is going to end up being positive by the end of the week. All right, guys? Okay. Right. Hi. Those of you who picked the pink rose quartz heart, here is your reading. We have the Ace of Swords, the Queen of Swords, and the Queen of Pentacles. All right. So we have the tree and the crossroads. Opportunity beckons, and we have nature. Okay. This is interesting here. So we have a lot of communication, right? And we also have a lot of cerebral energy around you this week for your relationship. I feel like what is going to be the biggest focus of your relationship this week is going to be more on that like sharing of ideas rather than sharing of emotions, sharing like factual things about each other, like what has happened in the past, and some of that kind of stuff. And you're going to also feel like you're kind of solidifying things, okay, with your person. For those of you who are single, I feel like your energy here is going to be more focusing on strategizing on what you can do to bring that person towards you that you would like to have, and that's going to start materializing. Okay, you're going to be having a lot of opportunities either way, regardless of whether or not you have somebody or not. You're going to have some other opportunities. I really feel like these other opportunities is going to give you a chance to really branch out, okay? And the crossroads, we're talking about making a decision. There's a decision that needs to be made in this relationship. And for those of you who are in a relationship, there's this decision that's going to need to be made. And you've got to figure out what comes most natural to you. I know that this is nature, okay, but I'm being told that this is talking about what's natural to you, what comes natural, okay? And so if you are trying to figure out which decision is the best for this relationship, kind of consider it from the perspective of what is what puts the least amount of effort. And I'm not saying to not put effort into your relationships at all. No, it's just that if you are going to be in a relationship, it's got to feel natural. It's got to feel authentic. And if you can't be authentic in that relationship, you've got to figure out what you need to do in order to be authentic in that relationship. Because otherwise, you're just going to separate from yourself so much that you're going to start feeling kind of fragmented. I hope that makes sense for you guys. So this opportunity, I feel like for some of you, the choice is between two people, okay? And since the person has their back towards me and they are looking over the edge of something, I feel that it's like it's hidden from me, and that I can't tell you what the two people, for example, or if you have to pick between like a job and keeping your relationship, for example, maybe your job would take you across the world or something like that. What I'm just getting is that there's some other opportunity. It's affecting your love life. It could be another person. For a lot of you guys, it is going to be another person, and that is going to, it's just basically a situation where you're trying to figure out what's going to be most healthy for you. Again, pick what's natural. The tree also represents health, okay? So also think about what's healthier for you as well. Understand, there's something about this that I just feel really drawn to say, and this is something that's more personal to me, but I can't be in a relationship with somebody that I don't respect. Well, obviously, nobody. I can't be in a romantic relationship with somebody who I don't respect on the intellectual level. And I'm not saying that I sit around and pass judgment about everybody, about, where they are in their mental capacity, because I don't do that at all. I don't even hardly think about it. But if I'm starting to feel those loving feelings for somebody, and they're consistently falling short from having a conversation with me on my level, and please understand, my level isn't necessarily the most refined. I'm just saying, if they can't meet me at that place, then we aren't going to be able to be on the same page, right? And I just wanted to mention that I think that this is coming up because some of you guys might be in a relationship with somebody, and it's like everything's great, except maybe there's a little bit of a disconnect on the level, and this would be something that would be anything from the other person kind of maybe belittles you and kind of acts like they're smarter than you and all of that, to maybe you just kind of feel like they can't quite get there with you, because you just perceive things differently than they do. And so if that's something that's going on, either you can decide, okay, we're going to work with this, and and I've got to just accept that that's the way it is in this relationship, or you've got to figure out whether or not it's worth being in, and if maybe you could find somebody that might be a better suit for you. Okay, and I just kind of feel like it's important for me to also kind of add on to this. The man I'm with, his name is Greg. He's the father of my children, and we live together, and he is like so much smarter than me, okay? So sometimes I think about sometimes I think about how, like, he can always meet me where I am, but he, you know, sometimes things that he talks about just goes way over my head. And if I thought that he respected me any less because I wasn't as smart as him, then I wouldn't be in a relationship with him. I know that he respects me, even though I don't share his, I guess, for lack of a better word, IQ. All right. So I do want to mention that I'm not on the smart side here in my relationship. Okay. All right, guys. Okay, hi. Those of you who picked the purple fluorite heart, here is your reading. We have the Knight of Pentacles, okay? We have the Nine of Wands, and we have the Six of Coins. Okay, guys, I've noticed that these cards have been coming up a lot in my love readings, and it seems like they're coming up in conjunction with one another a lot lately. You know, full disclosure, this is the pile that I pick for myself, okay? And I keep picking the pile that has cards like this in it, so that's probably why I'm aware of it. I just want to say, this is just kind of showing, for those of you who keep picking this is just showing a theme that's continuing on, that just needs a little bit more work, and that's why it keeps showing up, okay? Because I'm only reading for the next 7 days, and it could be that this keeps extending over, okay? All right, so we also have the Moon and the Letter. This is really fortuitous. I'll get to that. We have ideas and inspiration. This is kind of like the, this is the advice card, and then we have Open Up. Okay, so that said, we've got a relationship that's slow and steady, okay? It's very grounded in reality, okay? So if you're wondering, like, oh, am I like imagining things or whatever? No, you're not imagining things. You're good. You're not disillusioning yourself or anything like that. It's just really happening. It's just moving so slow that it might feel like it might not be moving, that kind of thing, but it is moving. We have this Nine of Wands here, and what I find interesting about this is that this person, he's been hurt, right? And so when we talk about head injuries, you know, we talk about, you know, sometimes with head injuries, we can maybe we're not remembering something that maybe we should be remembering. Maybe there's something that's a little bit difficult for us to grasp. Maybe there's something that we're not perceiving that we need to perceive, that kind of thing. Or maybe it's just the psychological difficulties that some of us have who have some kinds of psychological disorders. The bottom line here is that there's a hurting here, there's a healing that needs to happen that has to do with the way that you think, the way that your person thinks, that kind of thing. I really feel like this is for the most part going to be, of the viewers who pick this, is going to be reflective of you guys, okay? It's going to be reflective of, there's something inside that's kind of making you think negatively, some kind of maybe belief that you have, or some kind of incident that you've survived, that still needs to be kind of thought about here. Because it's going to make you your best person for this. This is also showing me that this is a very passionate relationship. It's a very, and that is received, like your person feels it too. And that it's just, you're almost there, okay? You're almost there. And it's like you've got the missing piece here, just like this guy has a missing piece. It's got to be all lined up. So we're talking about divine timing, but you have control over that divine timing by really focusing on whatever it is that might be holding you back in your mind, and kind of getting things lined up for yourself, right? Okay, so basically this could be some kind of action that needs to be taken, or it could be action that's going to be taken in the next few weeks, and you know what you know what I'm talking about, and this is kind of like about getting things ready for that. Okay, we have the Six of Coins, which is a really interesting card. One thing that I really like about it is that it means the same thing regardless of whether or not it's in the upright position or the reverse position. That's something I like about it personally. But, you know, what we're talking about is an even give and take, okay? So this week you are going to be feeling like whatever amount of energy that you're investing in the relationship is being given back to you, okay? So you're feeling as though your person is just as invested in it or just as interested in it as you are. Going kind of back and talking to the singles that are watching this, I do want to say that it's like you're almost there where you've got a person, okay? So I mean, in fact, I'd be really surprised if you don't already know the person who's been hanging around lately. But this is somebody you already know. I mean, I really feel that. And this is just moving it's moving to a point where you guys are about to come together, okay? So even if you don't know who I'm talking about, I really feel like there's an imminent thing that's coming about really soon. The open up card is really interesting because, most of us that are watching this, and especially if we're thinking about a person, we feel like we've opened up to that person. We feel like we've probably, are obvious about how we feel and what we want in the relationship and all of that kind of stuff. But you would be really surprised with the discrepancy between what people say that they're, the signals they say they're putting off and actually the signals that the other person is receiving. Now, I'm not telling you to, throw yourself at your person's feet, but apparently, at least when we're talking about nonverbal behavior, it takes about 3 times as much nonverbal cues for the person that we're trying to send signals to catch on that we're trying to send signals to them nonverbally. That said, by opening up, what it is it's about trying not to be inhibited around your person, being just straight honest, okay, and that kind of thing. And also understanding that you've got to show who you are, flaws and all, to your person. Because it's like they've got to see that you're real. Sometimes people try to present themselves in the very best light that they can. That's normal. That's human. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not judging. I'm not saying that you guys are wrong for that. If you guys are the kinds of people that do that, because I'm actually feeling like there's quite a bit of you that don't, that are, that's what you do. And this card is just kind of saying, yeah, you continue to go on that road. But for those of you who kind of want, you want your person to like you, just keep being as authentic as possible, and that's okay, it's you're not gonna upset anybody by saying, well, maybe I'm not like that exactly, it's fine. With the moon here, the moon can have to do with recognition, okay? It's kind of like if we're not talking about a specific kind of reading, it's more of a career card than it is a romance card, even though it does have allusions to intuition and emotion and that kind of thing. But since we're doing a love reading right now, we've got the emotional impact of the moon. We also have a little bit of manifesting going on, okay? And those of you who are really familiar with Lenormand, I understand that I'm not sticking with the absolute textbook definition of this. It's because I'm just reading them intuitively, okay? So we've got something going on here where somebody's going to be telling you a little bit more of what they're feeling. And I feel like this is your person, or those of you who are single, again, somebody in your life is you've got like some kind of secret admirer or something like that. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that you're going to say yes to it. All I'm saying is that there is somebody, that's interested. And we also have the ideas and inspiration, because I feel like you are also going to be wanting to kind of reach out and talk to your person as well. So I feel like the communication's really open as well. But there's going to be a specific piece of communication the next 7 days that's going to really strike you, because it's full of a lot of emotion. All right, guys? Okay. Looks like a good week, though, because you're moving forward and you're getting some stuff done. All right, hi. Those of you who picked the white opalite heart, here is your reading. We have the 5 of coins, the Knight of Wands. Ooh, this is a tough one. We've got the 10 of swords. We have the ring, and then we have the clover. We have blessings, and we have the throat chakra. Okay, so here's here's what I'm feeling about this. I'm sorry, I was getting kind of a double meaning from this one. I just was trying to figure out which one's the best. They're saying both. Let me go ahead and I want to deal with the Knight of Wands first because I think that this is more important. So we have a situation this week, I'm sorry, where we've got the Knight of Wands wanting to kind of charge forward. It's a little bit of impulse, a little bit of, probably a lot of sexual energy too. But regardless of the kind of energy, it's impassioned. This person wants to come forward. That's not going to be a problem. One thing is it's going to feel a little uneven. It's not going to feel like you guys are both putting the same amount of effort into it. And this actually might be on your end. It might be that you're tired of putting so much effort into it and you really need your person to act, okay? We have this, it's like one of you has been really betrayed in this situation, or is at least feeling that way, or one of you is really, really tired right now. And I don't mean physically like exhausted, although that might be going on too. That's not what I'm picking up on. I'm picking up on the idea that it's like you've had it. You just, either you or your person, you just had it. There's just not going to be a whole lot of energy that one of you is going to be wanting to put into this, okay? So these two are saying the same thing. This one kind of has a little bit more of a profound picture associated with it. Like, oh God, I'm just done. And I don't mean done with the relationship. I just mean, it's just like this week is just not going to be the best week to move forward, okay? I understand that we've got the Knight of Wands, that is moving and all of that, but I don't feel like this aspect of your relationship, the passion, the desire, and that kind of stuff, is necessarily anything that needs worked on. It seems like the things that do need work on aren't going to be, at least not consciously, taken care of by either one of you. And that's not a bad thing, though. I feel like this is a healthy thing for your relationship because you guys have something going on with your communication that's really blocked right now. And that is going to open up here because we have the Blessings card, okay? And then we also have the Clover, which is a very similar message. It's like a little bit of luck, like something's going your way that you totally didn't expect. And then we also have the Ring. So the Ring is about contracts, is about defining the relationship and that kind of thing. So when I look at this as a whole, what I'm seeing is the energy of the week is going to feel like neither one of you really wants to move forward with what really needs to be taken care of, okay? And when I say wants to, I don't necessarily mean that neither one of you feel the need or desire it, because I feel like both of you desire it. It's just about putting the effort into it. It's like it feels like right now is not the right time to do that. But it's like a few things are going to be revealed to you anyway, and that's going to start opening up that throat chakra, and by next week, that's when the two of you are going to be able to communicate better. For those of you who are single, I just want to mention that it's like you might meet somebody this week, but whatever is going on in this particular situation, it's a really good person. It's somebody that you could definitely hit it off with and be a prospect for you and all of that kind of good stuff, but the timing's going to be off just a little bit. So do keep that in mind. And for all of you guys, be aware that if you are sexual this week, and it's not with like a long-term partner or a spouse, we're talking about a situation where this person's it's probably not going to be more than a one-night stand, that kind of thing. And if the person does come back, it'll be much, much later, okay? Because I really feel like what's going on right now is just a little bit of stagnation, okay? All right, it's not bad. It's not all bad, because what we have here is a week where we're getting this taken care of, okay? So what you're working on isn't necessarily something to bring, isn't necessarily something that's going to be physical, and, you're actually going to get some physical evidence of stuff, you know. It's going to be more like it's opening you up so that you guys can start exchanging information with one another, that kind of thing. All right. Hi, those of you who picked the blue Lapis Lazuli, here is your reading. Wow, we've got justice, we're talking about truth, we're talking about objectivity, okay, we're talking about major arcana, and we have the Chariot, so we've got moving forward. You know, both you and your person, whoever you're thinking about, you're on the same page, okay? And then we have the Five of Swords. Just be aware not to gloat about anything to your person. I feel like they might feel a little bit defensive this week, okay? So this is an interesting combination. We have the Stork and the Whip, okay? And especially in this particular depiction, right? Obviously, we've got something that would look like sex and a child, possibly. Just understand, you know, the stork doesn't always represent a child, and it's not by any means conclusive about that kind of stuff. But just know, if you don't want that to happen, use protection, that kind of stuff. But, you know, the stork really is talking about movement. And when we've got the Chariot here, we've got moving forward, that kind of stuff. It could be that you guys decide that it's time to become physically intimate, and that is the moving forward that you're having, okay? Yeah, because we have the solar plexus chakra, and that's talking about being in your own power. You're feeling powerful. You know, this person is definitely in her power, okay? So, you know, we're talking about feeling in your own power and that kind of stuff. And then we have this serenity. So I feel like you guys know that you're in a good place this week, okay? Because you're feeling calm. You're feeling together. It's like you're trusting. You know that things are happening. You know, we've got 2 major arcana cards. So this week's going to be a big week for your relationship and all of that kind of stuff. I'm not getting anything like outstanding. Like, it's not like it's going to be a big week because somebody finally says that they're in love, or it's not a big week because maybe somebody proposes or something like that. Now, I'm not saying that can't happen. I'm just saying that that's not what I'm picking up on. What I'm picking up on is that it's an important week because you feel in control, you feel calm, and you feel like this relationship's really going somewhere, okay? And which it is. So this looks like a good reading for basically everything's good, you know, and that's about it, you know, but that's not a bad thing at all, you know. It's just not a whole lot of excitement, you know. We just have a good situation, a positive situation. It's making you feel like you're really secure in the situation. So that's good. Okay. Alrighty. Hi, those of you who picked the Bloodstone heart. Here's your reading. We have the King of Pentacles, the Emperor, and the Star. Okay, wow, 2 major arcana. We have the Fox, modified by the Child. We have Romance. Oh, and we have this one. It's called Confront. This is actually the same. You can see it's number 18. It's the same as the moon, okay? So we've got two astral bodies at night, the star and the moon. So that's kind of interesting. Obviously this is going to be a big deal this week for you guys, okay? Let me rearrange these a little bit here. So I see 2 major things here. We've got the masculine energy that's going to be really strong this week. So if you are asking about a man, most likely this person's going to start making some movement forward, or they're going to start defining things. But we're talking about a person that's gonna need things to be kind of spelled out and that kind of thing. They're going to want to know where they stand with you, that kind of thing too, okay? And then we have the Star. So we're talking about like a direction. Your relationship is going to feel like it has a direction. With the moon, you know, I mean, gosh, it's just such a big deal this week for you guys. Even though this says confront, I don't feel like it's a confrontation. Excuse me, I'm going to take a sip of water. I feel like this is confronting true feelings, okay? When we have the moon can like hide things because it comes out at night and night's dark and all of that kind of stuff. And so, like, when the moon's out and we confront something by the moonlight, we're confronting something that's kind of dark inside of us too. So it could be a confrontation of like some shadow work, some of our shadow selves. But usually, in a love reading at least, it's talking about feelings that have been repressed, feelings that up until this point somebody hasn't been willing to really acknowledge. Okay, so we've got these people, we've got this person, probably the more masculine in the situation. It doesn't have to be a man, it's just probably the more masculine in the situation, who's willing to really look straight in the face what their feelings are. Okay, that's going to give birth to a lot of romance between the two of you. Okay, and we have the fox and the child, so we've got some playful energy as well. And we also have somebody who's been working really hard, okay? The fox can sometimes represent, like, the character of a person, but that's not what I'm getting in this particular reading. It just doesn't make sense when we've got the King of Pentacles and the Emperor, and the fox is also a card that talks about work. I feel like what's going on here is that either the person's going to take a vacation from work or some paid time off, something like that, or this is just describing the person, like whoever you're thinking about is probably a career-oriented person or somebody you know from work. Okay, and there's just going to be a lot of playfulness between the two of you as well, in addition to all of this serious, really heavy stuff. Okay, this is, I mean, this is such a beautiful card. It's actually my favorite card in this deck. You know, I love this card. And, I mean, it looks like a very beautiful week for you. I mean, it really does. Very beautiful. Sometimes this kind of energy can be a little bit, it can feel kind of on the controlling side, but I'm not getting that because it's softened so much by the star and the moon over here, and definitely softened by the romance. Something that I've noticed in couples, regardless of gender, and all of that kind of good stuff, is when one person acts more masculine and the other person acts more feminine. You know, again, it doesn't matter if it's a gay relationship or a heterosexual relationship, it doesn't matter. I've noticed that creates a lot of chemistry in the relationship, and that creates this kind of sexual energy where the romance does come up and it's very impassioned and that kind of stuff. All right, guys? So you've got a big week, a good week. Right, thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed your reading. Please let me know how you're thinking about my channel by either, hitting the like button or leaving a comment or subscribing to my channel. I do put out these videos regularly, and so if you don't want to miss one, or you really like pick a card readings and you like my style, you might want to subscribe. I'm really excited about how much my channel's been growing over the past few months, and I just can't thank you guys enough for all of the great feedback and support that you've been showing me. That said, I'll see you later on with another pick a card reading.